Okay, today we have the unique pleasure of delving into Roxanne's workflow with a Lensbaby image in Photoshop. After bringing the image in as a 16-bit image, the first thing she does is apply Nik Define 2 to eliminate some of the noise that is inherent in every digital image. Of course, you get more noise when you shoot at a higher ISO. This image was relatively clean, but she still ran it through the automatic profile. And now the filter is being applied, and notice that the filter is on its own layer. Okay, once Nik Define is applied to the image, she uses Viveza 2 to accent certain parts of the image. Remember, your job as a photographer is to direct your viewer's flow in the image. And you can't always do all of that in camera. So she uses Nik Viveza, which has a U-point technology. Now she's applying a point to a specific part of the image. She's modifying the brightness and the structure. Structure is like clarity in Lightroom. It brings out more details. It makes the edges of the area pop. And notice she's just applied this to a small area in the center of the image to draw attention to the fisherman. Now she's adding another control point, and she's modifying the size of the control point, and she's also changing the brightness, contrast, and the structure to draw attention to that nice line of foam that leads to the fisherman. Now she's adding one more control point. Now, by the way, this image was created with an Edge 80 optic. Now she's sizing the control point, increasing contrast and structure. And overall, these points will line up to draw attention, to draw the viewer's eye to the important parts of the image. Now she's just placing it until she's getting exactly the effect that she wants. And this is all happening in real time in Photoshop. As she moves this control point around, she can see exactly what's happening. Now she's resizing it for the image, adding just a bit more structure to make the edge of the umbrella pop, and a little bit more contrast. And now the image is pretty much the way she wants it, so she's going to apply the changes. And notice again, this is going to show up on its own layer in Photoshop. Now, the next part of her workflow is Color Effects 4, which is part of the Google Nik Collection. Color Effects 4 has more filters than you can shake a stick at. It's got a myriad of filters that enable you to do all sorts of things to your image. In this case, she's going to use Pro Contrast to add just a bit more contrast to the Lensbaby images. Now remember, Lensbaby images are a bit soft by nature. So she's increasing dynamic contrast, which increases contrast on the whole image. And then she's using the correct contrast, and she's increasing the contrast just a little bit. She could adjust for color cast as well, but this image doesn't have a color cast. So now she clicks OK, and again, it is being applied to its own layer, which is very handy. Okay, now she's got another partner workflow, and notice Google does have its own little panel where you can access any of the filters from the Nik Collection. And now she's going to totally RAD Lab, and this is a cool set of filters that really enable you to do some cool stuff. And again, she's working in multiple layers, so she can control the effect overall. Now the first RadLab preset she's using is Oh Snap, and she's dialing back the strength just a little bit, And as she's doing this, the preview in the left window updates in real time. And now she's looking for another filter to apply to it. Okay, she's decided to adjust the warmth of the image just a little bit to make it a little less cold and sterile. And notice all the thumbnails on the right, all the presets are based on your image, the image that Roxanne is working on. And this will be the same thing if you use RadLab. It's not a preset image that they put in there, so what you see is what you get. And notice as she mouses over each preset, the image on the left-hand side changes as well. She's decided to use the Vanilla Kiss preset, and when she clicks it, it is applied to the image. And she's just dialing back the strength just a little bit until she sees something she likes. And now she can apply this filter on top of the other filters. And this filter does not go on its own layer. It is applied to the last layer. If you want to apply a filter like this on its own layer, you must create a layer in Photoshop. And now she's dialing back the opacity of the layer just a little bit. Again, she's the artist. What she sees, when she sees something she likes, she stops. Now she flattens the image. And now she'll save the image. The only thing I would add to her workflow, now she's bringing this image back into Lightroom. She's changing it to 8 bits per channel. The only thing I would add to her workflow, if you're going to print the image or put it on the web, change the color profile to sRGB. Notice the color profile that's being embedded with the image now is Pro Photo RGB, which is great for working in Lightroom or in Photoshop. But when you need to put it up on the web, switch the color profile to sRGB.